And that's right, we're back live covering the Great Chepsaita cross-country run. This is now the takeoff of the 10-kilometer senior men's race. It's been a very tense start, Greg, because there have been several false starts for some reason.
It's all about what's at stake. You look at what it's at stake. Look at the prize money. Look at the stakes. Look at the way this has been lined up, and it's kickoff there, the 10-kilometer senior men's race at the Chepsaita ground. Andrew, this is the last event of the day. Remember, we started off in the morning, the under 5 to 7 years, all the way the penultimate event won by Dorcas Ndiema, and right now we're doing the 10-kilometer senior men's race that is just underway at the dusty Chepsaita grounds, which has produced very, very great races today.
And so far, we have not had anyone defending their title. We've had very new champions, and in this third edition of the Great Chepsaita cross-country run, Samuel Chebole was rumored to be participating in this race, but I haven't really seen him so far.
I believe most of these athletes have we had the track and field season that was interrupted, but then we'll have a new champion definitely. I can see the likes of Brian Kiplagat, we have the Kipkemei Brian and Dennis Kipkemboy leading the pack as they go downhill on this course of Chepsaita. And one thing I can always say that the afternoon has brought in also a new dimension, because you look at the temperatures have soared high, and you look at the athletes, they are all lining up, and it's a large turnout here, and makes it so complicated that if you don't place yourself well, then you might be in for a rude shock, because this is what you want as an athlete. Have better preparations for the track and field season, and having them here makes it even better for everyone who's participating.
And it's most interesting to note that the elite men participating here today are 378. The elite women race that we had watched earlier only had 177. So the men are actually double the number, and that's why you can see the clouds of dust even more intense than what we saw with the elite women's race. And there was the course has been expanded. Compressors were used to sort of fix the course just in time for this race. But it looks like it's tough, but these men are going for it, because 750,000 shillings, 500,000 and 350,000 shillings
in 30 minutes
is what's at stake.
Yeah, in 30 minutes. That's what they came for. And also trying to make sure that they finish inside good positions. Remember, from the first to the 30th position, they are going to be rewarded, and that is very great. But I'm also looking at the number of entries. I can see Botswana is also represented. Number 98 as it stands currently is from Botswana. Looking at Uganda, not really a good representation from them, because the first Ugandan in this race currently is in position 156. We're talking about Dismas Kwemoi, who is trying out. I don't know if he's going to make it, but from Spain we have Aslas Elias and Kwachi Yohe from Japan. So from the 41 countries, we can at least see some of these athletes trying to give a good account of themselves.
And what is the weather like in Chepsaita right now?
In the morning, it was 27 degrees Celsius. So you can imagine right now we're in the PM. You can tell. And the dust is also making it even hotter, and the crowd making it even better for everyone who's at the grounds.
The temperatures have actually risen to 31 degrees Celsius. Oh. It is impossible. I'm telling you, the terrain is full of ups and downs, a very rolling terrain, very tough conditions. But what a spectacle, this being one of the greatest cross-country events there is in the world, period.
And you know, there are only two in Africa, gold label events. There's this, and coming up in February will be the Sirikwa. That tells you how special this one is. And this should also prove as a motivation to other countries who also want to host these cross-country events, that there's always something you can do, like an improved course. Last year, this course was not as it is right now. It's expanded, it's flattened, and the dust comes because of the large number of athletes that have participated in this year's edition. And remember, the patron has said that they are going to improve this course with time, and he says he hopes, and I'll stick to his words, that this becomes an athletic city, which will be a very, very, very great thing for all athletes and of course for sports tourism.
And at this point in the clouds of dust, it is impossible to really make out who is who at this point in time. It's hard to see the bib numbers, but that is just the nature of cross country. It's a different feel. But for now, we can tell that Brian Kiplagat, Brian Kipkemei, and Dennis Kipkemboi are in the leading pack, followed closely by Alan Kipkosgei, Noel Kimboi, and Edwin Kipkoech. There's really not much separating them, as well as in seventh position, Naibei Kiplimo.
It's 2 seconds separating the first and the 11th, actually the 14th. So it's so close. And talking about 14th, Farah Aye. He's a man from Djibouti. He's also in the race, giving a good account of himself. And you can feel that as the race goes into the second, third, fourth, and fifth loop, there'll be different shifts in who takes the lead and who actually navigates and dictates how the rest of the field will be running in this one. But Brian Kiplagat, 22 years of age, has really taken early proceedings here. 30 seconds in the first loop. That is commendable of him. We saw Dorcas Ndiema lead from start to finish in the 10-kilometer senior women's race, and that shows you that anyone who places themselves very nicely on this course stands a chance of maybe finishing on the podium or even taking the title home. But what I can assure you, there's going to be a new champion this afternoon.
Absolutely. Because Samuel Chebole, I don't think it was a non-starter, I believe. And sometimes the athlete has the best of intentions, intends to participate, defend his title, but then, you know, come the day, and conditions might be different.
Yeah, and I remember just a few moments ago, the women's senior 10-kilometer winner, Dorcas Ndiema, spoke about the course and says that the race was tough, but she pushed herself and was happy to win the race. Last year, she was in the under-20 category at 17 years of age, and she finished 7th. So this was a massive improvement by looking at the fact that she graduated from the junior level, now went to the senior level in her first attempt, winning this 10-kilometer senior race. And she says her transition and she was at the ISF cross country just the other year. Remember when we were at the Gong Road, Gong Race Course, sorry.
I sure remember, and what a beautiful progression, which is really what these kind of...
She was in high school then.
It's these kind of events, that is what they encourage, right? Even as we run for education, we want our athletes to get educated, but also be able to get the resources that they need to fully concentrate on athletics as a very viable career.
And yeah, and I'll echo what she said. My transition from the ISF cross country to the senior level has been great. You can imagine that has happened in a span of 2 years. That's huge.
And the beauty is that Athletics Kenya actually has youth camps all across Kenya. In fact, the World Championships, the World Cross Country Championships athletes that will be representing Kenya are now in a camp in Embu. Which is not something that you hear of often, but that is where they have chosen to train from.
Yeah, they've chosen to train there, and they looked at all parameters and decided to go to Embu because they believe the weather and the climatic conditions in Embu are close to what we'll have in Tennessee, Florida next year. So it's something that you can always say has given them what to expect when they go to the United States of America earlier on next year for the World Championship.
I really love when the technical advisors and the coaches put a lot of thought and effort, because a country like Kenya, with our stellar performances, producing athletes like Beatrice Chebet, who is likely, to be honest, barring any disaster, to defend her title in Tallahassee, Florida, this is the kind of thought that you need to put in. You need to give our athletes the best conditions and the best support to ensure that we come victorious. We have many team titles that we win at the World Championships, and this in 2026 should be no different.
And it doesn't get even better than what we have witnessed looking at the likes of Paul Tergas, 5-time World Cross Country Championship winner, coming to Chepsaita and trying to encourage the boys and girls and those who are participating in this one to move and push themselves. Catherine Dereba also coming in. Beatrice Chebet, she's spoken immensely about the need of proper training, and of course how education is also a very important thing as you try and blend the two to make it successful. She's talked about what the theme is all about run for education, and this is what exactly we are witnessing. We've seen such a huge turnout from the 5-year-olds to the senior men's race that is happening right now, and it just tells you why also there's a huge political turnout in this event. You can see the 2 PSs there. We can see the governor of Kakamega attending his second edition of this Chepsaita Great Cross Country Run. You can feel the new MP from Malaba. I'm talking about David Ndakwa, who's been inspired by this noble action to try and come up with something. He said that he will go football way, because we all know what happens in the western part of Kenya. It's all about football. So there's so many things that have been considered, and those who are attending. Last year we had the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, attending as the chief guest. So you can feel the kind of attraction this cross-country has. It's huge, and maybe you never know. We might be seeing Sebko coming here. I don't know. Because, 2029, we be to host the World Athletics Championship.
Right, and hopefully this time, because we have better stadium facilities, we'll actually have a shot. Speaking of the World Athletics President, we have in attendance Colonel Jackson Tuwei, who happens to be
the Vice President of World Athletics.
The Vice President, as well as the President of AK. But he is very much in attendance, as well as, like you said, the political who's who, and some of some big corporate sponsors were heavily encouraged to participate in this.
One man who attracts me is the pilot who runs in each and every cross-country race. In the events that I've covered, he's always there. He flies in, runs his race, whether he finishes 10th, 15th, or 100th, he doesn't care. He's there.
Yeah, Gert Brain loves to run. Gert Brain is the running pilot.
Yes.
The running pilot.
And he's running, flapping his arms like like an aeroplane, literally. He knows that the attention is also on him. And
back to the live coverage of the senior men's 10-kilometer race. At this point, we have Nick Busine, who's in the lead after the second lap, followed very closely by Cornelius Kipkosgei Connor. In fact, there's not much that separates them, as well as Matthew Kipkoech, Abraham Kemain Diema, Naibe Kiplimo, as well as Kapserem, Sami Kisa, Keyborn Obato, what a unique name, Peter Kibinei, followed by Edwin Kibet in 9th position, and Maxon Kipngetich in 10th, Alex Ngewo in 11th position, followed closely by Noel Kimboi. It's still a very tight pack.
Yeah, and Kenyans dominating this one. Last year it was quite close between the Kenyans and Ethiopians. Farah Aye from Djibouti is the first foreign athlete in 60th position.
And in 66th position is Lopang Unsete.
You got that right. So
I'm working hard, getting ready for
for the World Relays next year.
The World Relays that will be held in Botswana, which is really a treat to have this on the continent of Africa. But Botswana is also represented, as well as Uganda.
Dismas Kwemoi is in 73rd currently, but you look at this split after 2 loops, 6 minutes and 1 second for Busiene Nick, and then we have Conor Cornelius, 6 minutes 2.02 seconds. Kipkoech Matthew, 6 minutes 0.03 seconds. So it's so close, nothing much separating these athletes. 3 loops to go. Remember, to complete a loop, you have to run 2 kilometers through this terrain. You've talked about it several times, the ups and downs, the downhill, and the elevation. We're talking about the maximum elevation of 2,047 meters and the lowest 2,019. This also tells you that this is a high altitude area, whereby if you haven't trained properly, then you'll be grasping for air.
Yes, and some of the international athletes during the press conference spoke about having come earlier so that they can acclimatize, because this is not just any cross-country race. This is a race at altitude, and the elevation gain is about 58.9 meters. That is how high you're going from the highest to the lowest point. It's pretty tough.
It's crazy.
Significant climbs and descents.
Yeah,
then you have
the distance right now. You're like, yes, it's time. You need special. A special thing to try and ensure that you maintain, because when you descend, of course, you need to also to accelerate, because when on this course, when you descend, you have to go through a flat surface, go through the terrain, and then you go into the sprinkler where there is that where you can cool yourself in that area. There are also water points on this course, and it's a blend of calmness and, of course, like I can call it a gruesome moment where you have to go down the terrain, go through that flat surface like you can see on your screens right now. So it's all about art. It's not just running. How do you well time the different sections on this course? How well do you find your feet? How well will you run, and how will you accelerate and decelerate at the same time?
And if you are just tuning in, this is the Great Chepsaita Cross Country Run, one of two world gold tour
in Africa. Yeah,
Africa.
And they all happen in the same county.
That's right, and the rest of them are actually in Europe. So what a privilege to have two cross-country gold tour events on the continent of Africa, in East Africa, in Kenya, as what might be argued to be the home of cross-country.
Yeah, and even look at the dignitaries who've come. Talked about the likes of Paul Tergat, former National Olympic Committee president. He's here to support the noble cause. Seen even from the field events, Julius Yego, former world champion in javelin, he's come here and is like supporting them. You've seen him award the kids, and just shows you that when they see such people on the ground, they know that there is something special that they see in us. Whether you're a 5-year-old or you're an 18-year-old, we've just seen an 18-year-old winning the elite women's 10-kilometer race. That shows you that it's not about the age, but how well you place yourself. Dorcas Ndiema, she finished 7th in the last edition. Now that was in the under 20 category. Then she said, like, wait, I can try the senior women's race. From gun to tape, she was leading.
Dorcas Ndiema, very, very strong performance.
I think that's the most inspiring story of the day. Yeah,
I think, and likely the strongest performance by an 18-year-old. And you know, the question is, what is the Great Chepsaita Cross Country Run about? And the theme, as we have stated before, is run for education. But there are additional developments in the community of the area around Chepsaita that have happened. We have an Athletics Kenya youth camp that is based in Chepsaita. Because of this race. We have improved road network. The dam was cleaned. There's a dam in the area of Chepsaita that was cleaned recently. And then we've had the last mile electricity connections also being pushed by the Kenya Power company. Yeah. As well as a free medical camp. So this event goes beyond just the athletes. It is really about transforming the community, maybe even as has been aspired for, to be a city one day, Chepsaita City.
An athletic city.
Overly ambitious, but that is a good ambition.
It's good to have that because whether it becomes a city or not, I believe there's a lot that is going to come following this exposure they are getting here. And 3 loops done, 2 to go, very close. As I can tell, Kapserem Kisa now assuming the lead, completed the 3rd loop in 6 minutes 19 seconds, just a second ahead of Ndiema, who's now dropped to 2nd, and Cornelius Kipkosgei and Mr. Ndiema are tied at 6 minutes 20 after 3 loops. So it is very close. We have close to, let's say, slightly above 13 minutes to go in this one, and you can always feel that the heat is slowly grappling on these athletes. The tension is there. The lactic acid is also started pouring in, and of course the tension comes in when you realize that you're not maybe primed in a good position. But the most beautiful thing is that you finish inside the first 30 positions, you go home with something.
That's right. The prize purse goes 30 deep, which is unlike most competitions that we...
whereby if you finish in top 5, yeah, maybe. If they can consider them number 4 and 5, then you're fine. But otherwise, they clap for you and tell you, okay, see you next time.
That's right. And the technical director, the course, the one who designs the course, Mr. Ibrahim Hussein, former Boston Marathon champion, has really made consideration for these athletes, because this is a very, very tough course. But then they added the sprinkler, the water shower sprinkler, to cool them down. And I can imagine now more than ever that it's quite the relief, a little respite from the insane hot conditions.
Yeah. Last year, it was the first time I witnessed this. But down there, they didn't consider the dust and what would be after, because when the 10-kilometer senior men's race was happening, there was a lot of mud on the course, and that really irritated some of the athletes who complained about it. But credit to the course navigators who ensured that they factored in all that and made it special. And right now we can see all the athletes enjoying. I haven't seen a drop of mud on that sprinkling area.
It's much better.
It's
That is
better.
indeed. I think the drainage system
has been
improved.
worked on. Yeah.
But you're saying that they're enjoying. But when I look at them going up the hills, those steep ascents, I wouldn't say enjoying. I would say just going for it, because a lot of money is on the line. 750,000 shillings, and the battle for that money is now 7 strong. You have Kimayo Vincent,
who's now assumed the lead for the first time.
Right, and Kapserem Sami Kisa, Cornelius Matthew Kipkoech, Richard Kebet, Peter Kebene, and Kiplimo Naibe. And initially, it was only like a few seconds separating them. But now I think the podium will come from the top 4, because at this point, there's it's stretching out.
Yeah, it's stretching out. Looking at the way things are panning out right now, we are headed into the last loop, which means that it's the business end of events. So you have to line up yourself and ensure that you do things according to how the coach advised you. How are you going to attack the last loop, because it's the last 2 kilometers of this race. And Vincent Kimayo is a middle distance race runner who's been there. 5,000 meters is his speciality, but has done road races. So he knows exactly what it takes to, let's say, navigate through these courses. And I'm just looking at some of his personal achievements, and his run in Rome, actually like 2 months ago, in the Rome half marathon, clocking 59 minutes 45 seconds. And in Montesson, France, he ran the 5,000 meters, clocking 13 minutes 24.70 seconds. So you look at him, he's also done a marathon, 2 hours 13.09 seconds in Xiamen, China. That was in January this year. So Vincent Kimayo, he knows exactly what it takes. And looking at the prize, this is good for Christmas if he can just see this through. Look at him, lined up himself really well. And we are into the last 2 kilometers of this race, and he is enjoying a 1 second lead over Kapserem Kisa and Cornelius Kipkosgei. But I'm just trying to find out the first foreign best athlete, 29th, Dismas. He's in 29th position right now.
And that is expected. In fact, I big them up.
But you said Uganda
just
yonder. You just said like you can walk to Uganda from Chepsaita.
Right. And there's some of these people who live in Chepsaita but run for Uganda. For example, previous winner, Lois Chepkumoi. And I'm sure that will be an interesting story that will be told by our journalists. But to show up in a country so dominant in cross country and to give it your all in such conditions really speaks to the kind of quality of athlete that is participating here today.
Yes, the magnitude is huge, the expectations also, and of course the kind of publicity this event has been given is huge, because after 3 editions you find that over 10,000 entrants have signed up for this. It tells you that you cannot even wait for the 5th edition. It's already coming out as one of the best you could find anywhere, and that's why when we call it a gold label, it's not just called gold label on paper. You can see the kind of attention the great Chepsaita run is giving, is actually selling out there. You can feel that maybe some of these athletes, and we talked about the rankings and everything, that you finish in a good position, you stand a position of being invited to other gold label events, and most of them are happening in Europe. You talked about one that is happening in Ireland. Yeah, there's some in Spain. I think Spain has 2. Of course, there's also the Valencia Marathon happening in January. You never know. If you perform here well, then in January you'll be getting that invitation to run in different courses around the world, and that shapes you up for the season. Because we've also talked about this being like a precursor to what's coming up next. We know the interrupted track and field season begins in January.
That's right, Greg. And the Valencia Marathon is happening tomorrow, actually.
Actually, it's not in January, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. And we have Paris Chepsaita, world champion, Olympic champion as well, who will be participating. And so it will be good to see how... Yeah,
that's
because
unique.
she's very, very strong, and she's actually uniquely self-coached, right? Which is very difficult to comprehend, that at that level she can perform at that level. Become
what
Olympic
makes her
champion.
Successful without a coach? Because when you talk to most of these athletes, they're like, I need to consult my coach. I know, everything. The managers.
I mean, I've had an opportunity to listen to Paris speak, and she's just a very strong woman. Right? I'm not sure where she gets like scientific advice from, or like maybe she's a researcher in her own right. But tomorrow it will be interesting to see what she can produce in Valencia, which is a much simpler course than the one that we are watching today. The Great Chepsaita cross-country run.
Berlin course,
right?
Flat surfaces, and that tells you that someone might be going for a course record. You remember the likes of Joshua Cheptegei? They did very well. They do very well at the Valencia Marathon, such courses where it's flat.
Joshua has had a tough time transitioning to the marathon.
Yeah, he had a good first one.
Yeah, and
was it in Valencia? Yeah, I suppose.
And speaking of Joshua, he's been a world cross country champion before, and we spoke about the growing dominance of Uganda and sort of messing up the medal tally for Kenya. But so far, after lap 4, we have. After lap 5, I think it's safe to say that Matthew Kipkoech and Sami Kisa Kapserem are in the lead. At this point in time, it is Matthew Kipkoech and Kapserem Kisa Sami that are in the lead. And as the race is unfolding, we'll be able to tell in a very short while who our new champion for the 2025 edition is going to be. Last year, this race was held on the 7th of December, and only 10 schools benefited from the money that was raised, 100 students in each of the 10 schools. But this time around, we have 22 schools receiving 1 million bob, and that is to support 100 students in each school with 10,000 Kenya shillings for school fees. And we've been there. We've been to Chepsaita. Yeah. It's very rural, but there's a lot of potential.
Did you enjoy the long trek?
It was nuts, if I'm to be honest. It was nuts, but it was a good feeling.
Yeah, it was at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Trying to experience what the athletes also experience.
but what impressed me most was when we couldn't find the parking space, which I know Mr. Farouk Bet has addressed and even talked about it in the interview done by Elijah. It was all about how well did they plan for this event. Because I remember the last time we were there, we were parking let's say a kilometer away because of the limited space that was there. And then you had to walk all the way. But the beauty of it is that you're walking with 5-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds, and of course athletes also using that opportunity to warm up for the event. It was really nice, and it's very early in the morning, and that's the beauty of...
I will admit, Greg, that I was panting like crazy.
No, you needed that.
I really have a lot of respect and admiration for these athletes.
and the young boys and girls who brace the morning dew and everything just to ensure that they at least get to witness that's something that happens once a year. And you're talking about the leader, Matthew Kipkoech Kipruto. Quite an interesting CV he's got because I'm looking at the World 2024 Athletics Cross Country Championships under 18, under 20 8-kilometer race. He won bronze medal. Yeah, in Belgrade. So he has such a good CV that I feel he can use it maybe to claim podium finish here at the Chepsaita grounds because after 4 loops he did 6 minutes 19 seconds and he's now doing 6 minutes 23 on this one. So he's heading close to finishing, and we might just be seeing a new champion who is 19 years of age.
Right, and they are going through the water showers for the last time. Vincent Kimayo is also in the leading pack, likely a podium contender. He's only 21 years of age, and he's been running on the road, the half marathon, the 10-kilometer road race, and the full marathon. And this is a discussion that we've had in this country, Greg, for a very long time, that we have athletes as young as 21 years of age going to the road, likely, maybe prematurely. What do you think about the benefit of having a track career has on these athletes for their road racing that should happen a bit later?
I feel some athletes will always go for the road races due to the financial gains, and most of them believe that if they go do one or two marathons or cross-country races, road races, they will be able to at least break that barrier
and build a house.
Yeah, build a house. As we say, like in this part of the world, they like livestock, have good farms, and empower themselves, do one or two businesses, and that is what most of them are and want to do in life. But sometimes it's like, as you say, you go there too early, and then you find that when you do that, your career does not go the way you wanted. Then it ends up maybe early, maybe you did not achieve what you wanted. But I believe it's all about how well you're managed by your coaches and everyone in the camps. That's why it's so good to be attached to a camp. Like we've talked about the Lemotit camp. This is a camp that has produced very, very good runners. Of course, most of them are below 25 years of age, so makes it so special. And coming to a course like this, most of them are like, okay, let me go try out this one. If I get the 750, fine. If I don't, I'll try next time, because Chepsaita is today. Tomorrow we'll have Sirikwa. The next day we'll have another race coming up. But this is going to be very interesting. And also, I'm looking at from position number 1 to position number 6, the 21 years and below. This shows you there is some good future in cross-country and track.
That's an incredible observation, from position 1 to 6, yeah. Right? And, you know, cross-country, you cannot overstate the importance of having this kind of endurance training. Hill work is one of the elements of the training that a coach will take you through. But then here you get to test your fitness, you get to test your endurance, so that you can see how you will perform on the track. And it looks like we now have a new champion, very, very close between position 1 and 5, really. A new champion in the Great Chepsaita cross-country run senior men category, Matthew Kipkoech. Matthew Kipkoech of bib number 692 comes in to win the Great Chepsaita cross-country run. He is our new champion. They're needing some relief and some medical aid, as well as, I guess, TLC. Yeah. But I think the 750,000 Kenya shillings will soothe him. And it was a good trouble for good trouble to take on for that kind of prize money. I predicted a sprint finish in the 10-kilometer senior men's race, and so it happened with Matthew winning that one. And you have also to look at his career at 19 years of age. He's already had 27 minutes, 42.26 seconds in the 10,000 meters. That is his personal best in that. And then he has also participated in the 5,000 meters, 13 minutes, 18.45, posted on 12th of July last year in Santry Dalbin in Scotland, and then in Ireland, sorry. And then we had the 5-kilometer road race where he ran in 2023. He's done 10-kilometer road race in Praha, that is in the Czechia. And you look at that record, you're like, this is a man whose star is rising. At 19, he's traversed the world and posted very impressive times, both on track and road. And also in second position, Cornelius Kipkoskei, walking away with 500,000 bob. That's a pretty pen. That's a pretty sum. Cornelius Kipkoskei is only 20 years of age. He's recently now moved to the seniors, and he runs for the North Rift. He's from the North Rift region. He's does a steeplechase. And actually came first in Kapsabet in the 3,000 meter steeplechase, and has also did the cross country in Kapskoni, but was only 16th position. was 16th place, and it looks like he's coming into form.
He's coming into form.
It's a new season, and there's more to explore.
Unlucky for Vincent Kimayo, who dropped to 4th. I think the last loop is what outdid him, because he finished 2 seconds behind, because it was a sprint finish and we could all see they were all aiming to finish on the podium. But the good news is that he's still well within that money bracket, because he finishes in the top 30, who will be walking home with at least something. But the topmost prize, 750,000 shillings, a great day of work.
And that speaks to the importance of having a strategy when you're planning your race with your coach. You need to think, you've got to have something left in your reserve, something left for the final kick. And, you know, today Vincent Kimayo just didn't have it.
Yeah, and it just explains how well it is, and we'll be crossing over for the interviews.
Yeah.
Miaka 19 ulikuwa unatarajia kushinda mbio hiyo?
Sikuwa natarajia, but nilikuwa na matumaini. To last year nilikuwa number 2, 3. So nikasema leo acha ningangana. Pia mimi nilikuwa nambari la kwanza.
Ni nini haswa ulienda kufanya mazoezini ili imekuwezesha kuibuka mshindi leo?
Ni mazoezi nimefanya poa.
Na unapiga mazoezi wapi?
Ninafanya mazoezi tena.
Na kocha alikwambia nini kabla hii mbio ya leo? Ulikuwa unatarajia kushinda?
Kocha aliniambia nivumilie. Jo mazoezi umefanya. Sasa ilikuwa tu kuvumilia na kungangana.
Na unaweza sema nini kuhusu Chepsaita?
Chepsaita naweza sema asante kwa kuwa si rahisi. Si rahisi.
All the best, all the best, all the best. Cornelius, race ilikuwa vipi kwako, na ulikuwa unatarajia kumaliza nafasi ya pili?
Sikuwa natarajia, lakini nashukuru Mungu. Kulingana na mazoezi yenye nilifanya, nilikuwa na uhakika kwamba naweza kaingia podium.
Ya mazoezi unayoongelea ni mazoezi ya aina gani, na umekuwa ukipiga mazoezi kwa muda gani?
Mazoezi since January.
Januari? Wapi hapo?
Kaptagat.
Na kocha ni nani, na alikuwa amekuambia nini kabla ya mbio hii?
Kocha wangu ni Patrick Sang.
Alikuelezea nini kabla ya mbio hii?
Aliniambia tu enda ujitume na ukasani, usuluso pia. Ndio hiyo. Ananiambia karibia kata tamaa, hata wengine wamekaribia kata tamaa, wewe jitume. Nikamwambia sawa, ina shida.
Leo umejishindia kitita cha nusu milioni.
Nashukuru na furaha. Ndio.
Maishinda mbio nyingine?
Bado. Nilikimbia, ilikuwa Techran. Techran nilikimbia nikashika namba 4.
Ni mara yako ya kwanza kukimbia pale Chepsaita?
Mara ya pili. Ni mara ya pili.
Mara ya kwanza ilikuwa vipi?
Mara ya kwanza nilikimbia junior, ambaye nilishika nambari 4. Ndio.
Asante na kongole.
Shukuru.
Well, that has been the men elite race where we have seen Matthew Kipkoech emerge victorious, 19-year-old, and of course, Cornelius Connor Kipkosgei finished second, and he's coached by Coach Patrick Sang. But before I get you back to give back to his studio with Gregory, let's talk to the president of Athletics Kenya, and General is here. General Jackson Tuwe is here. General, what a wonderful day it has been right here at Chepsaita, the 3rd edition, and it keeps getting better and better.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
What a wonderful day it has been here in Chepsaita, and it keeps getting better and better.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a real wonderful day. Although the weather in the morning was a little bit of a challenge, but everything else has gone extremely well, and we are happy that there's always an improvement. As this one being the third edition, it has been improving from since we held the first one, the second, and now this one. Even in terms of the number of athletes, the number of fans, spectators, the development that has taken place here. We have now. I want to thank the patron for coming up with the issue of education. That is another big development, and everything else has really gone up. And so I want to thank the patron. I want to thank the team that set up this place, because you can see it is a wonderful place now. And of course, everybody else who has taken part in improving this particular area. So we are very happy. I think things have gone on very well. But you know, in every event, you cannot miss one or two issues that still require more improvement. So we'll go and sit down. We do some check-up on what has gone on. We hear from every sector, from every department, so that we can also improve next year. We keep on improving every day. The world is moving fast, and we want to move, in that area, so that we also improve in everything that happens, so that when people come and run here, when the athletes come, there is always an improvement on two areas. So yeah, that is my take.
General, next year, early January, we're going to be going to America for the World Cross Country Championship. What can you say about the team and its preparation, and what exactly AK is doing in order to continue the stellar performance Kenya has been having in the cross country?
Well, you remember that we selected the team at Eldoret Sports Club, and we have now taken the team to Kigari. They are now training in Kigari Teachers College, because we thought it was important that we take them there, and because it has been a very good station for us all this time since we started going to Kigari. So they are currently, as we are here, they are training in Kigari. We are still organizing for their, visas and kitting and everything else. But we should be able to go through all that before end of this month, because we have planned that they leave on 4th or latest 5th. We are still organizing the trip and everything else. Everybody is in the camp except one or two who are, of course, we know where they are. They are doing well so far. We intend to go and see them either next week or next week but one, at least before Christmas, so that we can launch the camp, and we also organize, one or two things for them as they prepare to go. So they are ready, and they are. I see this time we have got a young team. Most of the athletes are fairly young, and they are very eager to go. They are actually training very seriously. So let us wish them well, and we hope that they will bring us the winning race, or the winning number, because we are the defending champions. You remember when we went to Australia in 2023, we won. Last year we went to Belgrade in Serbia, they won. So we are actually the defending champion. So let us wish them well.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, that is General Jackson Tuwe, who is, of course, the president of AK. We have had a wonderful experience here in the third edition of Great Chepsaita and Gladys. One thing that we have noticed today is that we've had youngsters emerging victorious, both in the men and the women, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. And that speaks volume of what can happen when it comes to investing in the youth, because they're competing in the elite level and they are winning.
Yeah, it's exciting to see what young people can do, especially when money is a motivation. Money is a big motivation. I mean, everyone loves money. But most importantly, the most important thing for me is the number of young athletes has actually increased. You've talked about it. The winner of the senior women is only 17. The winner of the senior men is only 19. So all I can say is that the future of Kenyan athletics is very, very bright.
Well, yes, that is the future of Kenyan athletics that we've been hearing from Gladys Midecha, 19-year-olds winning in the elite men and women's race. And so we have to close it here, right here at Chepsaita, and hand you back to studio with Greg Mulimi and Manya.
5 years old.
Yeah, 18 years old and 19 years old, winning the both men and women senior races. It's been a great day of athletics, and we just hope for more. Next year, it should be better.
And the under-20 category was also very special because you had Joan Chepkirui and Kelvin Kakenya, who may not have made the national team, but will still be flying to Tallahassee in Florida and will get to witness greatness firsthand. This has been the Great Chepsaita cross-country run. There's nothing like Chepsaita. There really isn't. One of the greatest cross-country spectacles where athletic determination turns into scholarships through the run for education, ensuring that they have victory beyond the track. Thanks for staying tuned. I've been with Greg Mulemi. My name is Manya Nyamwea.